So today we are going to look at decentralization, and we're going to look at the meaning of decentralization. We're going to see the merits and demerits of decentralization. So let's take note of these two key nuggets here. We're going to break them down properly. So we agreed that the opposite of decentralization is centralization, right? So the concept of centralization has to do with the sharing of power between the central government and its constituent units. So the governmental power is shared. It doesn't reside with the central government like we had in centralization. Rather, it is shared. So this could be simply defined as the division of governmental powers among the tiers of government. Example, federal, state, and local governments. Each has what they particularly do. Each of them have what they do basically, right? So let's go further and say we have basically two types of, some will give you 3 or 4, but we're looking at just 2 types of this decentralization, that is devolution and deconcentration. So in devolution, we're saying that is the transferring of governmental power by an upper level government to a lower one, right? Governmental power is transferred from an upper level government to a lower level government. Right? The power is given to them to make decisions, right? This could be seen in public corporations. Look at this definition here. I got this online. It's the process where governments devolve functions. They transfer authority from one decision-making institution to another, right? So the new institution has the power and the right to make decisions. That is the point here. While in the concentration, it has to do with delegation of authority by the central government to its field units. So in devolution, they are given the rights, the authority to make decisions. But here, this is same institution, just extending to its field units, its branches, the capacity to carry out some activities on this behalf of the central. For example, the Ministry of Works can give authority to or delegate power to its branches in the different states to get some jobs done. They are not independent body. It's still the same Ministry of Work. Unlike in devolution, where the power is given to a lower body, but something different from the central body. And they are given the right to carry out to make laws that suits their environment. Right? Let's go further. So the concentration is a system which often is used in unitary states. It entails redistributing decision-making authority and responsibility among different levels of the same central government. Distributing among the levels of the same central government, while here we're trying to say that it is given to a subordinate level of government. We decide to create subordinate level of government. You create it and give it the right to do what it wants to do, right? So please pause this video and play on these things and listen to the words again. It's very important. Now, what are the advantages? It leads to quick development of every unit, right? Because the capacity to make decisions is in everywhere. The burden is no longer on the central government. In a federal state, there's competition among various units, right? There's competition among various units. It leads to competition, which can lead to development, economic development, and the likes. It brings the government nearer to the people because the people now have a stake in the government. The government is close to them, so they are participating in good governance. So in this kind of system, the supremacy of the constitution removes the tendency of a dictatorial government. The supremacy of the constitution removes tendency of dictatorial government. So this power, this right to decentralized power is spelled out in the constitution. So it removes and deletes all forms of making laws arbitrarily or using how do I put it now? Either making laws arbitrarily or being a dictator, a tyrant in terms of how you govern your people. So the fear of domination by one major ethnic group over the minority is removed. So no fear of group A dominating group B, because even group B has the elements, it has government facilities in their area that can make decisions to meet their needs, right? So it reduces the workload on the central government. The central government stands to gain the most because most of the burden it would have carried have been sent out to the subordinate units or to the other extensions of the government. Now, what are the disadvantages? It is costly to operate, very difficult, expensive, because it involves duplication of functions. The center is weak because the autonomous regions can make decisions for themselves. So in quotes, they may not need the central government. The functions and offices in government are duplicated. That's why we said it is costly to operate, and it leads to waste of resources and manpower. Now, it often leads to sectionalism since the country is made up of different units and interest groups. So each group is like vying to be stronger. So they are forming sections. Like now you said, Yorubas, this is our own thing. The Hausas, this is our own things. The Igbos, this is our own things. The Nupe, this is our own thing. So it creates sections within the country. It fragments the country. So it leads to a difference in the level of development, as some areas might develop faster than the others. If you look at the rate at which states are developing in Nigeria, you can also draw this conclusion. For states like Lagos, maybe they are on a higher pace. You won't compare it to states like Ekiti State or thereabouts, right? So I'm not saying that Ekiti is worse, but I'm saying that the pace of development can be different. It's not going to be uniform. Unlike when power is centralized, the central government can do the same thing for all the regions at the same time. Everybody gets the same thing from the central government, right? So these are some of the points I want us to note here. So we just looked at meaning of decentralization, the types of it, and then the merits of decentralization. So if you have any question, if you feel there's a contribution you need to make, the comment section is open and I will be there to grasp exactly what you are trying to say.